going to start with something sort of new. We saw this last week. This is the 4 counter 4, or the 4 6 counter 6. The top one has two motions, a 4 and a counter 4. This poster is designed to look like the person you're facing. So if I attack here and they go 4 and I disengage underneath, I'm here, that's when they make the circle and catch me where they would have with the normal opposition 4. So you're looking at an opponent in this drawing. Or if they have the extra one with a 4 6 counter 6, here's my attack in 4. They parry, I disengage, think I'm coming over here. They come back in 6 to the original position and I disengage there as well. So we're all back where we started from. And as a final motion, they make a counter 6 and I end up on their guard and they riposte. So that's what it looks like when your opponent's doing it. Now, when you're doing it, of course, I will show you, but I'll also show you a drawing. So this is you. There's the blade, there's the 4 parry, and you miss the attack, so you make a counterclockwise circle, a counter 4, and you catch the blade. You catch the blade on the outside of your blade, just as you would if it were a normal 4 parry that was successful. Again, here's my foil. I make the 4, I miss because they disengage, and I make a counter 4, and I come back on guard. So it looks like this, kind of a loop-de-loop. The other one also is you. You're standing here. This is for right-handers. Left-handers will just have to do the opposite. Let's say I do a 4 and I miss, and a 6 and I miss because they've done 2 disengages. We're right back where we started. I make a counter 6. In this case, it's clockwise. 4 6 counter 6. 4 6 counter 6. The top one is 2 motions. 4 counter 4 and back on guard. The bottom is 3 4 6 counter 6. So what you have here is 2 different ways of seeing it. This is the person who's facing you and how they do it. This is looking at your own hand, so to speak, and how you do it. So I will now do that with my back to the camera so you can see it. As you can see, I am super high tech. So we talked last week about player-to-player defense versus zone defense. We talked about basketball or soccer, where in basketball maybe you have player A on one team, cover player A on another team, wherever she goes, player A goes. You can do that in soccer as well. Or you protect this part of the field or that part of the court. It's the same in fencing. The 4 parry, as you know, is meant for a specific attack in that line, followed by riposte. That's a man-to-man is the old expression, player-to-player is what I try to use. Whatever my position, I'm going one place laterally, which means with a straight line, to protect. Of course, I can also protect that one area with a circular parry. But a lot of times the circular parries are meant as a zone defense. That is, they sweep up everything coming at them like a big net that catches every attack. So you can see that a counter 6 is meant to sweep the entire target area. Or from this side, a counter 4. It's the same principle. Again, you don't do it from here, that's too slow. This is a little faster, but still slow. A little faster, still slow. The fastest there is. So I'm going to be your opponent now. Watch me. I do a 4 counter 4, where I come back on guard and do a 4 6 counter 6. Once more. A 4 and I miss the parry, counter 4. Come back on guard, 4 6 counter 6. Now I'll be on your position. You're on guard, you do a 4 parry and you miss. Here comes the blade on your outside line. You do a counter 4 and you sweep the entire area and catch the blade and riposte. Or maybe you do a windshield wiper and you miss both times. 4 6 and your opponent does 2 disengages, so she's right where she was. And you do a counter 6 to catch it. So from your point of view, a 4 counter 4 looks like this. Back on guard. And a 4 6 counter 6, 4 6 counter 6. The first one, 4 counter 4, back on guard. The next one, 4 6 counter 6. Let's do 2 sets of those. 4 counter 4, back on guard. 4 6 counter 6. Once more, 4 counter 4, straight circle, back on guard. 4 6 counter 6, straight circle. So let's try this as a defensive posture. You have to imagine your opponent making the appropriate moves to avoid your parry. And then you'll find your blade on your second parry. So you're here, you do a 4, then a counter 4, and in this case we're going to lunge on the repost. So watch me once more. 4, counter 4, and a lunge on the repost. Now face your target. You assume she's attacking, so you maybe take a retreat if you want. With a 4 parry, a counter 4 parry, catch the blade, extend, and lunge for the repost. Again, 4, counter 4, extend, lunge for repost. You may, of course, combine a retreat with your first parry if need be. Go. Parry 4, counter 4, extend, lunge, repost. Parry 4, counter 4, extend, lunge, repost. 2 more. Parry 4, counter 4, extend, lunge, repost. Once more. Parry 4, counter 4, extend, lunge, and repost. Relax and look at me again. When I parry, I try to train myself to really crouch down. So if I'm here and if I come with a parry, I often will go even lower so I have more potential strength here to hit on the lunge. Rather than standing up or staying the same level, I try to go down. So now we'll do the 4 6 counter 6 combinations. Watch me. Here's the imaginary attack. I'll take a retreat, I think. 4 6, counter 6, big sweeping parry, extend and lunge for the repost. 4 6, counter 6. Once more, watch me. 4 6, counter 6, extend and lunge for the repost. So face your target. We'll do 5 of those. You can take a small retreat with the first parry if you like. Ready? Go. 4 6, counter 6, extend and lunge for the repost. Go. 4 6, counter 6, extend and lunge for the repost. Go. 4 6, counter 6, extend and lunge for the repost. Go. 4 6, counter 6, extend and lunge. Last one, go. 4 6, counter 6, extend and lunge. Relax a moment. We talked last week about the spiral nature of learning and how you have to go back and revisit things you've learned before. You learn something new, you go back and revisit the old stuff, and back and forth it goes. That's true for every kind of learning, whether it's academic or practical or physical, musical, whatever. So we're going to go back to the advanced lunge. And remember that the advanced lunge is an accelerated movement. It's slow, fast. So if you recall, as many of you of course know this, advanced lunge. The trick is you really want to change the tempo. And of course, that's just the last moment. Before that, you're moving back and forth. Maybe you're moving kind of relaxed. Maybe your opponent is not in a hurry. And maybe you're very relaxed and you just go one relax, and you lunge. It's almost like you're lulling them to sleep. Oh, look, it's not threatening at all. Boom, and you do it. So face your target. We're going to go slow, fast. Ready? On guard, advanced lunge, and go. Slow, fast, recover, and retreat. 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 One more. Go. Slow, fast, recover, and retreat. Look at me. On the slow, you do want an extending arm, not an extended arm. You don't want a dead arm. Extending, you have to get in within their space so you draw the parry from them. Maybe you've heard the expression, slow is smooth and smooth is fast. This is why often an effective feint is not violent and it's not quick. It's not ringing the doorbell to announce you're there. It's just sort of smooth. Here I am, and then you change line. So if you can do it smoothly, it doesn't have to be particularly fast. If you're in the right distance, you know you don't have to be that quick. And in fact, most fencers, there's not that big a variation in terms of arm speed. So if you time it right, you'll be okay. So it's slow is smooth and smooth is fast. So this one we're going to feint to the right on the line of the upper and lower areas, and then do a disengage. Ready? Face your target. Go. Slow feint, disengage lunge, recover, and retreat. Slow feint with the advanced disengage lunge, recover, and retreat. Slow feint, disengage lunge, recover, and retreat. Slow feint, disengage lunge, recover, and retreat. Slow feint, disengage lunge, recover, and retreat. We're going to leave that for just a moment. Another learning principle, you do something, you leave it alone, you come back. I want you to do 20 seconds of shadow fencing against your target. Any kind of move you like. Back and forth, moving. There's an imaginary opponent in front of you. Try to hit her 3 or 4 times. For 20 seconds. Ready? Go. Moving your feet, lunging, whatever you think. Low line, high line, taking the blade, not taking the blade. Jumping perhaps, jumping back or forward. Maybe doing a ballesta, which we're going to do in a minute. Maybe you do 2 or 3 feints. Maybe in the lunge you do 1, 2, 3. And a couple more and go. 1 more, moving, and lunge. Relax. So, you recall the ballesta, which of course is a jump lunge. The difference between a ballesta and an advanced lunge is an advanced lunge has a little bit more time, a little more setup, slow, fast. A ballesta is just the bully of the playground. Boom, boom. You just knock them off their feet. I once had a girl on the high school team at PDS in the 90s who literally, she landed in such a way on her opponent's blade that the blade pushed way back and knocked her off into the air and onto the ground. Very dramatic. She wasn't too pleased, but it was kind of interesting. Okay, so we're going to do a ballesta. Remember, a ballesta is a jump, both feet at the same time, and of course, the instant you landed, your front foot comes out again, like this. And of course, the jump is less about going up than it is about going forward. So just a straight ballesta. Face your target. Go. Jump, lunge, recover, and retreat. Go. Jump, lunge, recover, retreat. Go. Jump, lunge, recover, retreat. Go. Jump, lunge, recover, and retreat. Go. Jump, lunge, recover, and retreat. Relax a moment. Now you're going to do the jump is going to have the feint to the chest, and the lunge is going to be a disengage to the high line. Ready? So it's jump, feint, disengage, lunge. Go. The left one. The 1, 2. Well, essentially it's a feint, disengage. Feint, disengage. Go. Jump. Go. Jump. Go. Jump. And relax. We're going to touch on reversal of direction now for just a minute, and then we'll come back in the final video. Reversal of direction. You can, of course, change direction anytime you like. We did last week. Retreat, push off this leg, change direction with a beat to take the right of way. You can also retreat and push back and cross your leg. That's with a half retreat. If you watch, this is my rear leg went. Or you can do a full retreat, and then you're pushing off this rear leg and something of your front leg as well. I fence a guy who's quite good at this. He uses it all the time. So we'll do the first one where you do a half retreat, and then you push off and you cross your legs and you make a flesh. To do this, you really have to beat the blade, otherwise they'll come at you and they'll have the right of way. So it's half retreat, beat, flesh, or at least cross your legs if you don't have room to run by. So it's a half retreat, watch me, beat as I'm pushing off this leg, landing as I'm crossing my leg. Couple more, watch. Half retreat, beat. It's like I'm beating in the air. I'm beating as my foot is in the air. Half retreat, beat. And once more. Half retreat, down low, beat, and cross foot flesh, or just hit. Let's try that together. Face your target. Go. Half retreat, push off, beat, and cross your feet and hit. On guard, half retreat, push off, beat the blade, and hit. On guard, half retreat, push off, beat the blade, and hit. On guard, half retreat, push off, beat the blade, and hit. And once more, half retreat, push off, beat the blade, and hit. I'm going to stop this portion of the video, and I'll be back in a minute.